everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all alright. I haven't been on for a little while. It's just been a crazy few weekends, to be honest, since the world has just opened up again, so I've literally not had time to sit and edit a video and upload it, so I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, this is a really bad angle. Anyway, hello. I hope you're all okay. I thought I would just kind of film for the weekend, so that's why this video is going up later on the Sunday, because I figured I'd just kind of film for the whole weekend because I've got a lot going on this weekend. I am about to go to Sainsbury's to buy myself some big knickers and a really comfy bra, in all honesty, because tomorrow I'm doing a 26-mile walk for Alzheimer's Society, and therefore I want to be comfy. So I will put the sponsor link down below if you would like to sponsor me. By the time you're watching this video, it is done, but you will still be able to donate. I really appreciate that if you do, and thank you in advance, and thank you if you already have done so. But yeah, so I'm really quite looking forward to it. I decided to do it, for those of you that don't know, my granddad's got Alzheimer's, and my granddad's been very, very poorly for the best part of 9 years, and he's now in the very late stages, and it's really horrible. So whenever there's a charitable event for Alzheimer's Society, I am all over it like a rash. Anyway, so I'm about to go buy some big knackers, and yeah, I think then I'm gonna cook some dinner. I'm gonna cook tonight. I do a cheesy pasta bake with, I can't say the cheese, it's like, it's a Swiss cheese, I don't know, can't say it, but it's a Swiss cheese in a pasta bake with chicken and mushrooms. I might not do it with mushrooms because Marco doesn't really like mushrooms, and so I end up separating it, and it's really annoying. So I might just do it with chicken, but it's a very dairy full pasta bake. It's a bit like macaroni cheese, but better. Don't tell my Italian husband I said that. But yeah, last time I cooked that and put it on my Instagram stories, I got loads of questions for the recipe. So I'm gonna put that on my blog, but I also thought I would just film it today. And I'm not being one of those knobs that say, oh my God, I got so many questions about it. And didn't, I actually did. So I actually did, Huns, didn't you know I'm an influencer? Oh my God, I'm joking. Anyway, let's go buy some big pants, shall we? Some big fuck off big panties. That's how you know you're getting older, isn't it? Okay, so I've just got in my car and it's absolutely, well, say it's hammering down. It's not hammering it down. That's a massive overreaction on my behalf. But it is raining significantly. I need to clean my car because in the morning, I'm leaving my house at like 6:45 in the morning to go pick up my friend to go do this walk. And I'm about to embarrass myself horribly, but look how messy my car is. So that's the footwell down there. Oh my gosh, why is my car such a tip? Just bought the biggest bra that I've ever bought in my life, actually. I found out the other day that after all these years, I've been measuring my bra wrong, which is, oh my God. What a knob. Yes, after all these years I've been measuring my boobs wrong, so I did it again the other day because I literally have like 2 bras that fit, and when I say they fit, I mean like they literally like flop off my boobs, but they're not tight, and that's all that matters at the mo, to be totally honest. So I've just been to Sainsbury's to buy a bra and some big knickers, and it's a this is how I know I'm getting old, right? It's not a push-up. It's not wired, there is no underwiring in the bra, it is just a comfort bra. It even says on it, in fact, I'm pretty sure it says, yep, oh no, super smooth scoop neck bra, non-wired. Here you go. Woo! Proper old lady bra. And then I even bought some full briefs, like some proper big knickers, which I'm really excited to wear actually. I do own some big girl pants, but they were from when I was a lot slimmer than I am now, and I actually had to cut myself out of one pair. So yeah, it's definitely time I upgraded and got myself some bigger pants. So I'm really actually quite excited to get home, get my big jumper, my big knickers, my big bra. Woohoo! So I'm now gonna go home while listening to best radio station ever, by the way. If you've got a digital radio, I strongly suggest Absolute Rad 90s. So it's Absolute Radio 90s, but on my thing it shows up as Rad 90s, because I think we can all agree that the 90s, oh you cockwomble, I'm going the wrong way down a one-way road, but that's not the point. Anyway, the point is that the 90s were without a doubt the best decade for funky music. Maybe not funky music, but I just love the 90s. To be honest, I think it's like a bit of a done thing that you just love the year in which you're born. Okay, I'm back. Didn't think it was a good idea to film while driving. Anyway, yeah, I vetoed what I said. I thought about it as soon as I stopped filming, and I don't think that people just love the year that they were born in terms of music, and by year I mean decade, because like my dad was born in the 60s, and I don't think 60s are my dad's favourite genre. My mum was born in the 70s, don't think that's her favourite genre. Yeah, Marco's favourite is the 90s, he wasn't born in the 90s. Yeah, okay, I veto that. It's just because the 90s are my favourite decade. Although, early 2000s I also love. Like early Rihanna, Neo Miss Independent. Like that is where my little R&B hun comes out. Anyway, I'm going to go inside now. I am going to have a very hungry husband because it is 6:30 and I've not even turned the oven on. So, off we go. Right, so I have got into my new jumper. I say it's a new jumper, I bought it about 2 weeks ago, but I swear to God it is the jumper of dreams. And in fact, I'm gonna show you why. Look, right, so basically, long story short, I went to H&M about a week and a half ago to try and find a dress for my mum's 51st, but she had her 50th in lockdown. So we had a party for her, and I could not find a dress that I liked at all, and I ended up feeling really self-conscious and cried in H&M about 3 times. So I left with this jumper. So it's an oversized jumper, it's in size extra large. I would usually wear a large, I think, but I bought it in an extra large. And yeah, so it is like a jumper dress. It's obscenely comfy. I cannot tell you how comfy it is. So I've just gone and put this on, as well as my new bra and my big panties, which I'm not going to show you, but love them. So basically, I was on TikTok the other day. TikTok seems to be my thing at the minute. I absolutely love it. I get trapped in TikTok holes all the time. But basically, I watched a video about a girl telling everyone that they were measuring their boobs wrong. Measuring their boobs wrong. And so as a result, I measured my boobs and I Googled it to make sure that she wasn't lying, and she was absolutely right. And I measured my boobs, and for the last, well, realistically, since I was a size 8, so that was, I mean, 3 years ago, but for years and years and years, I've been wearing a 32, well, when I got married, I was like a 32B, and then when I put on a bit of weight, I just went up to a C, and I've been wearing 32 to 34 Cs for years, and then I bought a D, and it just didn't fit right. And anyway, my bra's always like cut into my back, or I feel like I'm spilling out of them a little bit, or my nipple pops out, and it's not really ideal. So anyway, I measured my bra, measured my boobs even, and it turns out I am a 34E. So that's where I'm going really wrong, because I'm wearing a bra that is far too small. So I'm gonna link it below, because I think a lot of people will be surprised at how wrong they are getting their bra sizes. But yeah, so I've just put this on, and with my big girl knickers, and honest to God, I felt, walking around in my underwear then, I have felt more confident in the last 10 minutes than I have felt in the last like 3 years. So winner winner chicken dinner. Anyway, Marco, I'm not cooking that pasta tonight that I told you I was cooking. I wasn't lying to you, the intention was there. But on the basis, we usually have a takeaway on a Saturday night, but because I'm doing this walk tomorrow, when we get back, we are having a barbecue with the friend that I'm doing it with, and her husband, as her husband is also really good friends with Marco. So we're gonna have a barbecue. Saturday night usually we have takeaway, so obviously we're not having a takeaway, and on Sunday we're gonna have a proper dinner because I'm gonna cook apple crumble, which I'm really excited about. So we're gonna have takeaway tonight. So I'm having fish and chips, but I thought I would show you what I have stocked up on for this walk tomorrow, because if I'm gonna get through this walk, it's gonna be via Sugar Rush. So I already had, let me turn the camera around. So I already had some jelly babies that Marco went and bought me the other day, and some Haribo Tang Fastic. So I've already got those. I've got a couple of pork pies in the fridge and a Lucozade Sport. I'm gonna make myself a peanut butter sandwich as well. But anyway, while I was in Sainsbury's, what did we buy? So I bought these. I've never really had them before. Kind of like breakfast bar type things aren't really my thing. Oat bars of any kind aren't really my thing. But I've bought these because I thought these would be good for energy. So there's something to eat on the way round. I also bought a bag of fruit pastels because I don't really think you can go wrong with fruit pastels. Also, I noticed they're now vegan friendly. So I got some fruit pastels because my grandma told me they were great. She actually told me to get some mint cake, which I think is just literally a slab of sugar. But I couldn't find any of that. So I got some fruit pastels. I also got some Mawam stripes because I don't remember the last time I had these, but I used to love them. When I was in my old job, I used to work as a 999 call handler. And when I was on my night shift, I just used to live off these. They had them in the tuck shop for like, I don't even know, like 5p a strip, and I just used to stock up on them. And then, I think the final thing, oh no. So I bought myself one of these. It's a chocolate peanut and caramel protein bar. It looks really nice. I thought initially it was one of the, I can't even remember what they're called, but they come in like birthday cake flavours, things like that. They're like carb killer things, but I really like them. But anyway, I got one of these because they were on offer. And then finally, I got some Rocky bars. So I haven't had these since I was a kid. I used to absolutely love these. And the only reason I bought it was because it said fuel for big adventures and it made me feel slightly nostalgic. So you can guarantee that I am going to eat all of this tomorrow while I'm on my walk, as well as my peanut butter sandwich and my pork pies and the breakfast that I make before I go. So I'll have probably eaten them all by midday if I'm really honest. We are starting at, I can't even remember now, I'm picking Lucy up at 7 o'clock, so we'll get to Rutland Water for about 7:30, 8:15, and I'm anticipating it to take us about 9 hours. So I'm hoping that we finish, I don't even know, maths, around 5 o'clock, but we'll see. I don't know. We're just going to have to take it as it comes. Anyway, I'm going to spend the rest of my evening editing a video for the Positive Birth Company. I do monthly trying to conceive vlogs for them. There's quite a lot to update you on in terms of our IVF. I'll drop the bombshell on you now and then kind of talk to you about it as we go. But basically, long story short, we are potentially flying out to Greece in 6 weeks as opposed to September. We had a second consultation with our doctor on Tuesday, and when they did my AMH test and things like that, that was all fine. But because I had an infection in my vagina, it was like a bit like bacterial vaginosis. It was nothing funky or anything like that. It was just there. I'm going to be on antibiotics. I need to ring the doctor and get those antibiotics. But I'm going to be on antibiotics now. And hopefully that sorts it out. But he basically wants me to go earlier so that we can avoid it recurring before September. So we have Marco's DNA fragmentation test in June, which it already is. So in literally 10 days, I think it's the 15th. Bruce, what are you doing? It's in the recycle bin. On the basis that, yeah, Marco's got his DNA fragmentation test on the 15th. The results take 2 to 3 weeks to come back. So if they come back normal, we will literally be booking everything there and then. If they don't come back normal, we'll wait until September. But we are potentially flying out to Greece, yeah, in 6 weeks, which is wild. But I will kind of sit down and have a bit of a chat with you about that a bit later on in the vlog. I think I will probably have that conversation with you Sunday morning. But yeah, anyway, I am gonna wait for Marco to get back. I'm gonna edit my video for the Positive Birth Company, and yeah, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. I hope you're all okay. I am late. It's 7:15. The sun is shining very brightly, so I think these sunglasses need to get on my face. And I'm on my way to pick up my friend to then head to Rutland Water. This is the test of whether or not the camera is in a good position. If it moves around right now, windiest little roundabout ever. No, there we go, all good. So yeah, I am going to be heading to Rutland Water. I have packed a bag full of snacks and lunch. I've got 4 bottles of water, totaling to about 3 litres. I have got a Lucozade Sport. I've got all the snacks that I showed you last night, as well as a peanut butter sandwich and 2 pork pies and a packet of crisps. So I cannot under any circumstances complain that I am hungry. But yeah, I decided to put a little bit of makeup on, put my earrings in, just to make me feel a bit better really. I feel like if I look like shit, then I'll feel like shit the entire way round. The metformin got the better of my belly this morning, so I haven't taken it this morning, because the last thing I want is to get halfway round and feel like my insides are going to burst. So we went without this morning. Honestly, there is a lorry in front of me driving at like 2 miles an hour. Come on. I'm also getting an ulcer here, which is a real pain, and I'm hoping that doesn't aggravate me throughout the day. I'm feeling all right about it, to be honest. I think the most I've done in preparation is 15 miles. And when I got to the 15th mile, like, my calves were in pieces, and my legs were just absolutely killing me. So, but when I did that, A, I was slightly hungover, B, I hadn't drank anything, I didn't take any water with me, any food, and I hadn't eaten that day, so I literally just kind of got up and went. I had a coffee, but that was about as good as it got. Speaking of coffee, I might see if Lucy wants to go to Starbucks and get a coffee before we go. But yeah, anyway, I am looking forward to it. I'm just a little bit nervous, which I think is quite normal. I'm gonna get behind this lorry because there's nothing worse than somebody staring at you while you're trying to film, I tell you. But yeah, generally I feel okay about it. The light's not very good in here, so apologies. And yeah, it takes me 5 minutes from here to get to Lucy's, and then it'll take about half an hour to get to Rutland. But Rutland's lovely, and I don't know if you've ever been to Rutland Water. If you're local to me, then you probably have. But Rutland Water is just absolutely stunning. It is such a beautiful place. So I'm kind of glad that we're doing it there instead of London, because I think as lovely as London is, it's jam-packed, and when the weather's nice, there's people everywhere, and obviously there's a designated route, and they have like stop points and things like that. But I feel like you're in a bit more of a competition when you're going with other people. Not a competition, but I'd be really conscious of whether or not I was towards the front or whether or not I was at the back, how slow I was. Whereas here we can just kind of take it at our own pace. There's lorries everywhere on a Saturday. I mean, yeah, they're going to travel over the weekend, Amber. How stupid are you? But yeah, so it'll be good. I've charged my camera up. I'm probably not going to vlog the whole way around, but I'll definitely capture some of the scenery for you, and yeah, just kind of keep you updated as to where we are. I've asked Marco to get me in some Smirnoff Ice and Bacardi Breezers for tonight. I haven't had a Smirnoff Ice since, well, since I was about 14, in all honesty. So I'm quite looking forward to having one of those. But somebody mentioned it on Gogglebox last night, and I was like, oh, I really want one of them now. So Marco's under strict instruction to get me a Smirnoff Ice today. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. What was your choice of drink? Like when you were like 14, between the ages of like 14 and 18, let's say, when you'd have your little behind your parents' backs little parties, when you first started trying alcohol, what was it that was your like go-to drink? I think I went through a little phase of apple sours. I absolutely loved apple sours. In fact, funny story for you, I always remember being about, I must have been, I don't even know, 16, let's say. Yeah, I think I was 16, and I'd gone to stay at my dad's house, and a lot of my friends from school, no, it's not this junction, sorry. A lot of my friends from school lived in the village that my dad lived in, and one of them was having a party. Yeah, it was their 16th birthday, I remember. So I walked there, and my dad was like, yeah, you can go and you can have one drink. So I took that one drink as one bottle of apple sours, and I drank it like on the way there. And then when I I got there, I was drinking, you know, Smirnoff Ice, and I was drinking all these little Alka Pops in these little bottles. Anyway, got back to my dad's. I was smashed, absolutely smashed. Dad sent me straight to bed, and I was like, I'm not drunk, I just can't get my heels off. Obviously slurring my words all over the place. And still to this day, I'm not allowed to live that down because my mum and dad aren't together. So my mum rang me the next morning and was like, your dad's told me that you came home pissed last night. I was like, no, you know what dad's like. I wasn't pissed, I just couldn't get my shoes off. He was just looking for an argument. I was smashed. Absolutely disgusting smashed. So yeah, sorry Dad. Not that my dad watches my YouTube videos, but yeah, that was good old fun. But that was my go-to drink, apple sours for a while. Went through a bit of a phase with Frosty Jacks because it was cheap. Went to a local festival and walked home from there. About a 2-hour walked back absolutely hammered, drinking a 2-litre bottle of Frosty Jacks. So you know, those were the days, honeys, those were the days. Anyway, oh god, they've put all in new traffic lights at this roundabout and it's doing my head in. I think they're a good idea, but still, they annoy me. I want to zoom around like meow. But yeah, anyway, we are now almost at Lucy's house, so I'm likely going to call it a day. I have no idea what lane I need to be in. We're going to say this lane. Oh, more traffic lights. What a shock. But yeah, anyway, wish me luck, and I will see you very shortly on the way round, and of course when we finally make it to the end. I want to set you a little challenge. Put in the comments how long you think it's going to take us. I'm estimating 10 hours 15 minutes including breaks, so put your guess below. How long do you think it took us? And yeah, we'll see who was closest at the end. But yeah, have a great day.
I'm fed up with changes. Come pick me up cause I just wanna see the light. I wanna be weightless. Teach me to fly, I won't be coming down. Could somebody wake me up? I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. Yeah, I just see her face wherever I look. She's standing in the crowd. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. I'm so sick of waiting and getting too restless to be in this dusty town. I've heard of this place where people forget and you get another try. So come open up my door. I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. I won't see your face wherever I look.
Morning everyone, hope you're all okay. So I kind of stopped vlogging yesterday because it was ridiculous. I think we got to about 15 miles and I honestly didn't think I'd be able to finish it, but I just wanted to show you, look how disgustingly burnt I am. This is so bad. So I had sun cream on, I had SPF 30 and I think I could have done with SPF 50 because it was just extortionately hot. And there was like barely any shade, so yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. My chest is so hot to touch, but we did it. We actually did 27 miles in the end. My Strava had obviously cut out at some point, so what we did, we walked 13 miles and then we got a bit lost. Like we couldn't figure out where we needed to go because the road it was trying to take us down was a private road, and whether or not there was a footpath at the back of it I don't know, but we couldn't find it. So we were like, sod it, should we just turn around and walk back? So we knew we were bang on at the halfway mark, but then about 4 miles later, like it was telling me that we'd got less miles to go than we should have had. It was about 1.5 miles less, so I was quite confused. So anyway, when we got back to the car we had to carry on walking like another mile and a half to make sure that we'd hit the 26 miles. And anyway, when I stopped the Strava and had a look, it said we did 27, just over 27 miles. So yeah, anyway, got home last night, we had a bottle of champagne. I feel so tight and just this morning, I can't tell you. I'm in so much pain with regards to this, which is not really very great. But yeah, I'm struggling to move. I'm walking a little bit like I've shit myself, which isn't great, but I was going to spend the day just lounging around doing nothing, but I don't think that's really going to help me. So I think we're going to go to Hobbycraft today, get a few different bits that we could do with for a little project I'm working on, and yeah, that'll be it really. I'll sit down shortly and kind of talk to you about everything IVF related, and just the updates on that front. Once I'm ready. Marco's currently cooking me a sausage and bacon sandwich. Marco's completely lost his voice this morning, which isn't particularly great, so he's not doing very well at actually conversing with me today. But yeah, I'm about to go into the guided meditation for Innovation Fertility, and yeah, so I'm gonna go get ready. Ugh, God, I'm literally so burnt, I'm crispy, but for the first time in a while I feel hot. Did you butter the bread? Did you? Did you only butter one slice of bread? Oh. Looks good though. Made me a nice good bacon sandwich. Brucey, look. Look, what's this? Haha, no, not for you. Oh, look, no, he's all excited. No, Brucey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not for you. It's not for you. Are you excited to get our new sofa, Brucey? Oh, yeah. Are you very excited? Oh, look at you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have teased you. That wasn't very nice of me. You can have a little bit of sausage at the end, okay? Yes? Yes. Hello. Right, I have kind of decided that today I'm not going to do anything. I was going to go to Hobbycraft and get some paint, like I said, and yeah, we've got the new sofa coming on Thursday, so I wanted to go and buy, my straighteners need to turn on. I wanted to go and buy like a nice throw or something to go with it, because it's leather. We've had corner sofas for years that have been fabric, but we've decided to get a 3-seater and a 2-seater, just hopefully because it'll change the room about a little bit. Yeah, because hopefully it will just change the way the room looks and make the room look a lot nicer. So we've got that coming, but I want to protect the leather because there's no way we're keeping Bruce off the sofa. I don't want to keep Bruce off the sofa. Some people really don't like dogs on the sofa, which is fine, but for me personally, I wouldn't have a house without my dog being allowed on the sofa. There is nothing I love more than doggy cuddles. So anyway, I was going to go buy a nice throw for those, but I've just decided that actually I think I'm going to spend today sitting on my arse doing absolutely nothing. We're going to my father-in-law's for a roast dinner this evening, which I'm quite looking forward to. He does absolutely wonderful roast dinners. But yeah, so I thought I'd take the time now just to kind of sit and talk to you about what's going on with regards to the IVF and what we're doing going forward. So basically, we had our consultation, a second consultation. It was a follow-up to some tests that I had done. You might remember me saying I had my AMH test done. I had a full thyroid profile, so I had like my vitamin D, my B12, my thyroid, and a few other bits and bobs tested. And I also did a vaginal microbiome, which is just like a vaginal swab test to check for any infections. So my AMH came back fine. My AMH came back at about 28, which for anything is quite high, which was to be expected because I have PCOS. So yeah, we expected that. My thyroid is fine, my vitamin B12 is fine, which I was actually quite surprised at because, well, I get quite a lot of symptoms that correlate with that. Like I get a lot of ulcers around the time of aunt flow, so on and so forth, and suffer with like really bad tiredness and things like that. My vitamin B12 came back fine. It was my vitamin D that came back quite low, which isn't rare because in the UK we don't get much sunshine. My burn would say otherwise, but yeah, obviously in the UK we don't get an awful lot of sunshine, so that's not the rarest thing in the world. So I've just had to increase my dose with regards to my supplements for that. And then we had, shit, I've not put any, just realised I'm not putting any heat protector on my hair. That's slightly problematic. There you are. Let me just sit down again. Oh, my legs hurt so much I can't even tell you. Looks like I'm wearing a tent. But yeah, so my vitamin D levels came back a bit too low, but everything else was absolutely fine. The Biomi test, on the other hand, did not come back fine. So my pH level was slightly high, which means it was slightly on the alkaline side, which is fine. Like that's not really an issue, but it did mean that I have like just a light trace of an infection. So I'm being put on some antibiotics, which I need to ring the doctor and get on Monday. And then in addition, I've got some like pessary type over-the-counter medication to take. I think it's Canis probiotics, I think, are the things that I'm taking. So yeah, so that was fine. We've got Marco's DNA fragmentation on the 15th of June. So that's in a couple of weeks. The results, however, take about 3 weeks to come back, which is quite frustrating. But we had this consultation with our doctor. His name is Dr. George, and we had this consultation with him, and he has basically said, because of my infection, he doesn't want to run the risk of it recurring or anything like that, and as a result he wants us to fly out in July as opposed to September, which was a bit of a shock, to be honest. And I don't know, to be honest, I'm not sure we're even going to be able to, because if the results for this DNA fragmentation test take 3 weeks, I am literally, if my period regulates itself, now I'm back on my metformin and all the rest of it, we won't know until kind of around the 13th, 14th of June whether or not it has regulated itself. But if that is the case, that literally gives us a matter of days to have this consultation with Dr. George, order our medication. So I'm not entirely sure we're going to be able to do it in July anyway. So yeah, I don't really know. I'm hoping we can. It would be great if we could. I'm feeling very impatient and I do just want to get out there. But in the same breath, it's I don't want to feel rushed and feel like I don't really have a clue what's going on or what I'm doing. And obviously at the moment as well, we've got to isolate for 10 days and all the COVID testing costs an awful lot of money, which is fine. Like, we've worked it out and it's still within budget, it's fine. It's just a bit more complicated than we hope it would be in September. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to consider. But on top of that, like I say, you know, it would potentially be such a mad rush. Dr. George does want to put me on norethisterone or Provera in order to manage my cycle before we go, if it doesn't regulate itself. But they also close for about 10 days in August, and while Dr. George will still be working, all the other like departments within the clinic won't be operating, so he doesn't want us to go in August. So it depends on the results of the DNA fragmentation test. If it comes back normal, then yeah, we'll be going in July, all being well. If it comes back abnormal, then we'll be, well, I say Marco will be put on a sperm protocol for 3 months to try and improve the fragmentation. So he started taking Impril, which is a supplement that Dr. George said will help with his DNA fragmentation. So yeah, it's all just suddenly got very real very quickly. I started having a bit of a wobble this morning, in all honesty, because this weekend on Instagram there have been at least 5 positive tests that I can recall just off the top of my head. There's been 4 this morning, 1 yesterday that I remember. And so I feel like this weekend there has been an awful lot of it. I've also had an invitation to a baby shower, and I've just felt a little bit overwhelmed with it this weekend and started getting a little bit teary. I think just because, you know, they say obviously on average it takes 3 attempts for IVF to work, and I don't know, we were just talking about this morning and it was like, oh, so there's 5 people that we know this morning, like this weekend, that have had positive tests. So statistically we're out. And I know that's obviously not the case, and it's a really warped way to look at it, but it just, I don't know, I think it's just getting to me that obviously at the end of this year we'll be on our 7th year of trying. Like, it's mad to think that if this works, if we go in September, that is literally 6 years and 9 months of us trying, which is just an obscene amount of time. And I don't know, there's just part of me that it's just getting to me a little bit this weekend, and I'm getting a bit worried. And I think, I don't know if I've spoken about it on here, I know I've spoken about it on Instagram, but after literally about a year and a half of monitoring my cycles and all my symptoms and things like this, we think I've got Pmdd. I was going to call the doctors but then see if I can get a diagnosis, but let's be honest, I think in my case the doctors have always been about as useful as a chocolate teapot, and I don't really know what they could do other than putting me on the pill or putting me on antidepressants. But Pmdd, if you don't know, is effectively really severe PMS. I'll link the NHS link below, but about 10 days to 2 weeks before my period is due, sometimes up to about 3 weeks, my moods just dive, and I'm just really not a very nice person to be around, and everything is very end of the world. And I've just not been feeling on top of the world this week, so I think it's kind of starting to set in. Which isn't great, and I just think there's a few things that have just kind of piled up, but I'm just so worried that it won't work. And I think I'm trying to keep a really positive head because it's a whole new clinic, a whole new protocol, which is great, and I do have every confidence in this doctor completely, and I do have faith in the protocol, etc, etc, etc. But like I say, you know, in the same breath I'm like, what makes us think that this is going to work when it's been so bad previously? That what makes us think that it's going to do a complete 180? And our goal, at the end of the day, our goal is to get frosties. It's just hoping that that does happen and that we do get those frozen embryos, because if we don't get any frozen embryos again and it doesn't work, like I don't know what we'll do. I don't know if we'll call it time on that, or what, to be honest. I have no idea. And yeah, it's just hard every now and again, and I feel like this morning I'm having a bit of a, I'm very tired. Obviously that walk yesterday has taken everything out of me, but I do feel like there's part of me that's just feeling a bit meh about everything today, which isn't particularly ideal. And I don't even know what triggers it half the time. Like, I was absolutely fine this morning, and then out of nowhere I'm just starting to feel a bit sad, I think is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I think I just feel a bit sad that we're still in this situation after all this time. And it's the finality of everything, you know, like it's knowing that it is impossible for us naturally, that we're never going to have that miracle. And you hear of people that go through IVF, you know, 6, 7, 8 times, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I genuinely can't do that. We're heading towards our 3rd cycle now, and I think, God, how many more do we have to do? And I mean, to be honest, like, Dr. George is absolutely fantastic in that he talks to us and he's like, this will be your last egg collection, it will be. And then I just think, you know, I've had consultants tell me before that there's no reason why it wouldn't work first time, and then here we are, you know, third fresh cycle, no embryos in the freezer, no positive test ever other than a false one. So yeah, I think sometimes it just gets a bit hard, and I don't like to come on to social media, whether that's on YouTube or Instagram, and pretend that I'm all rosy and dandy and optimistic all the time, because I'm not. And I think the general consensus is that we do feel really positive about this cycle, and I think it's the most positive we've ever felt about a cycle, but in the same breath we are so aware of how horribly wrong it could go. So yeah, but anyway, without being all doom and gloom, let's talk positive. I had this week a meeting with Cambridgeshire and Peterborough CCG about the Fight for IVF campaign. We have literally been working towards this meeting for the best part of a year now, and they have agreed to review, so that is currently undergoing. They're underway even. They are reviewing their IVF policy. They are currently one of 3 CCGs that don't offer any NHS funded IVF whatsoever to anyone. So that is being reviewed, and the official review date I believe is the 6th of July, so literally a month today. We should know whether or not they are reinstating it on the NHS or not. So I'm incredibly nervous, but in the same breath, fingers crossed, we've really made a difference here. So if you haven't already, now is the ideal time to go and sign the petition. The link is down below. And yeah, anyway, I am going to finish doing my hair. Right, I look like you know, like in like the mid 2000s, and you had like scene kids and emo kids, and the in haircut with all the short layers and then the straight bit underneath. I feel like that's what I look like right now. Like I should be bashing out some Yumi at 6 and Paramore. But yeah, anyway, have a great day. I hope you've all had such a lovely weekend, and I will see you next Sunday for another video. But yeah, if you haven't already, do make sure that you head over and follow me on Instagram, and make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below so you are notified every time I upload a video. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.